done, Jacqueline?
There are bumps, and I'm trying to stay calm.
You look good. Just cruise through them. That's what the Mojo's good for.
Yeah.
Are you going to do a traffic pattern or buzz around a little bit?
I'm going to go down the beach and then come in.
Okay. How does the air feel up there?
It's bumpy, but I'm really just trying to chill.
Yeah, that's good.
Jeez. Oh.
You coming into land?
Yeah.
You probably want to add power because you're really low. Yeah, bring her up to...
Oh my god.
You're good.
No.
You're fine. Bring her up to cruise.
Oh, no.
Hey, add power because you're going to land downwind.
Oh, no, I don't like this.
Jacqueline, add power.
No.
You're going to land downwind. Add power. Oh, you good?
Yeah. I'm fine.
Jesus.
Oh, you good?
I hated every bit of whatever that was.
You look totally fine.
No, it wasn't fine.
All right, we're back at the Salton Sea. After I posted the last video of Jacqueline flying here where we dropped the melons, a bunch of people were curious about like turbulence and as a beginner, how you build up to flying in turbulence. So our goal for today is to gain more experience with Jacqueline in flying in turbulence. And that was the first flight of the day. And we're gonna talk about what went on and lessons learned and things like that. So basically, Jacqueline took off, flew around, hit some turbulence, and she decided that she wanted to be on the ground ASAP. And at the end of the day, she's pilot in command, and she made a decision that worked for her, and she took the downwind landing route and stood it up. I thought she was gonna freaking crash. I was scared, but she nailed the downwind landing. But the point I wanted to make is she had two options basically. Either come in and land because she was uncomfortable with the turbulence, or add power and keep flying, do a pattern, and then land. And she chose the option to land immediately. In my opinion, the turbulence probably peaked her scale, her threshold of turbulence tolerance. But in all reality, it was probably like a 2 or 3 on the bump scale. So it was completely safe and fine to be flying in. And if you have to weigh the priorities of like risk and danger, taking the downwind landing presented much more risk than adding power and continuing to fly through the turbulent air and coming in for a normal landing. Even if the normal landing was way the hell out there, it would have been into the wind and safer. So if I was in Jacqueline's shoes, what I would have done is added power, got a little more altitude, turned into the wind, and then decided, do I want to land immediately out there? There was plenty of room and into the wind, or keep climbing, circle around, and do a pattern. So lessons learned for the day. We're going to keep flying and pushing into more turbulent air and getting Jacqueline experience. Speaking of Jacqueline, tell me about your flying experience this morning.
It was good until it wasn't. So I took off and it was kind of bumpy like right away, but it wasn't too bad. And I wanted to be like, oh, I hate this, but I didn't. And I just like kept flying. And then when I was making a pattern like over here, kind of close to the like inland area, the air got really funky and I should have gone around or just like, I don't know, completely just aborted it and gone and made an entire different pattern. But I decided to land, and I scared myself more trying to land downwind than I think I would have if I just listened to Tucker.
At the end of the day, you nailed a downwind landing, which is pretty sketchy, but you stood it up and didn't break anything, so that's good.
I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do it again.
Well, I think we're gonna go and check out the air again and see how this turbulence is, get a little more comfortable with it, gain a little more experience. That's the thing. I feel like you can't really teach someone how to fly in turbulence. They just have to experience it and realize that the wing is safe and have confidence in the gear and build up the skills to just be decisive on the controls and actively pilot through bumps. So that's the goal for today.
You're a rocket ship.
Yeah.
How's it feel so far?
Very bumpy.
You look perfectly stable from the ground. Need to do a right-hand pattern?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, go ahead. That's a good altitude.
Kill it. Nice! What the hell is that?
Did you see? Did you notice yet? My freaking leg strap came off again.
Oh, no shit. And you saw that right before you started running?
It popped off. It felt like
Don't worry, Jacqueline. Lightweight buckles are the way of the future.
it's a way to fall out of your seat.
Yeah, make sure you give it a good tug. Did you feel it like pop?
Yeah, it was like,
Good.
I have nothing to compare it to. I don't have big boobs. But like, when you don't buckle your bra strap all the way in the back.
Yep, in there.
Nailed it!
How's the air feel?
It's a little warbling.
Beauty.
Oh, these bumps
How's it feel?
freaking heated. I love flying. Oh, shit. A thing, a bird, a white one.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, I see him. Oh yeah, swamp. Land without layering.
Land without flaring.
Land without layering.
Why is there's so much going on today? Like my first flight was absolute trash, and I was scared. And my leg strap popped open, and then I had a bird that tried to like kamikaze me.
Well, that's a wrap for Salton Sea Part 3 now. Jacqueline, after flying in turbulent weather more often, what can you say about flying in turbulence?
It's still weird, but it's okay. And I was probably flying in about an 8 on the butt pucker scale. What would you say it was?
In general, maybe a 2. For you, probably a 9.
But it was okay.
You feel better?
Yeah,
a little bit?
I feel a lot better. The whole time, I'm kind of thinking like, oh, I don't really like this. Oh my God, but it's fine. That's like how I feel.
Well, I'm glad we made progress today, and we learned important lessons about landing downwind. Well, I hate to say it, but this van life trip is over. We made it back to New Jersey, as you can see, and I gotta say this van life trip was the best one yet. We started out flying over the Badlands, then headed to Devil's Tower and Mount Rushmore. Then it was on to Twin Falls, where I jumped my parachute for the very first time, did some base jumping at night, followed by a sketchy day in Capitol Reef with nasty turbulence. Then we went on to the Fisher Towers, which was amazing. In Moab, I did my very first cliff jumps, number 1 and number 2. After that, we went to Shiprock in New Mexico, an insane flight. Soon after, we headed to Zion. It was crazy cold and I almost got stuck and had to land out. We moved onward towards Vegas, flew through the Valley of Fire with Ross, and then with Ross still, we flew the frickin' Hoover Dam. Who would have thought? After that, we went to the Salton Sea, flew with Jacqueline, got her a ton of experience. I dropped a bunch of melons, which was crazy. We went to the Glamis sand dunes, flew off the dunes with no motor. After that, it was back to the copper mine in Arizona where we flew below the Earth's surface where it smelled bad. I got scared. And then, you can't forget the giant human figures and Blythe. And finally, back to the Salton Sea where Jacqueline had a scary downwinder. I have to give a huge thank you to all the folks on Patreon for all of their support. It really helped fuel our adventure, literally like diesel fuel. And by the way, after we got home, I started up the van and realized we have an exhaust leak on the muffler, but that's exactly what the Van Life Patreon is for, so thank you guys for your support. Anyway, the van life trip was amazing. I'm still kind of coming off the high of all of our adventures, but we're back in New Jersey, and what's that mean? A few things. So first off, we're just gonna have classic New Jersey adventures, flying around with the crew here. It's been a while since I've seen those guys. Other than that, I'm working on a brand new project, which I'm gonna leave the details secret for a little while until it gains some momentum. But I've already started on this big project. It's gonna be awesome. If you jumped on board on this van life adventure, welcome to New Jersey. This is where we do most of our shenanigans. And one last thing before we go, we still have some Risky Biscuits flannels in the web store, link down below. And we've got remove before flight key tags customized with the YouTube tag. So check those out in the description. With that, I'm gonna go finish editing this video and get it online for you guys. Till the next one, peace out.